Hi there, and welcome back to another vlog of me being back in Europe. So, I've been in Brussels for a few weeks now. This was my second 10 days, I would say. And finally, I had recovered from my cold and I was enjoying the days outside. I was enjoying the blue skies. I had to buy some stuff to fix in the house, which I still haven't managed to. So if anyone wants to help me, I appreciate it. But I bought the stuff that I needed. And there was also the Bright Brussels Festival happening during that first week. So it is essentially a light festival in the city, which I really appreciate because sometimes you need to have something to look forward to in the dead cold of winter. Valentine. Actually, no, with the ring.
Yeah, true.
Let's go.
Sometimes it's so easy to make me happy, honestly.
So as you can see, there was some live music in Grand Place. I'm not too sure if it was meant to be there, as in if that was planned for the festival in itself. But honestly, it was really fun. And then once you get inside the square of one of the Grand Place buildings, I have no idea what building, like what's the name of the building, to be honest. It's the one where Santa Claus shows up in the window for Christmas. This is a very obscure reference. This is a very Bruxellois reference, and I do apologize, but that's the reference that I can give. So yeah, there was even installations that you had to see it through your phone, which honestly it's interesting enough, but I failed in putting it down. Like I had to point my phone to the skies when it was supposed to be on the ground. So yeah, that was a failure on my part. But there was quite a lot of nice little things and installations throughout the city. And this year I did do most of the circuit, blah, whatever. Because last year I also went to some of the exhibitions with Emilka, but this time we went to more things, me and Marina. And our goal was to walk to Parc Royal because they usually have very nice exhibitions. However, one of the obstacles of this night was the fact that it was freezing cold. Maybe not so much for people who are, who grew up with that kind of weather, but me being Brazilian, Marina being Spanish, it really was hurting our bones, I must say. But we did stop at, the Royal Palace, and then finally we went to the park. And there's some really cute stuff, such as like flowers that would sort of like inflate and deflate, if that's a word. And then there was this one little thing on the gazebo where people could make their own moves and the characters projected onto the gazebo would copy. And I thought that was so magical. And I just felt like people are so cute with their moves and everything they're doing. And it was one of the days where I really felt like, you know what, life in Brussels can be quite fun. So I just need to enjoy the time that I have. And obviously didn't compensate for me missing out on Carnival in Rio. But you get what you get.
My friend Christy doesn't like it, techno, and she came here with me a couple of times.
So yeah, because it was so cold, we decided that we did not want to continue with our bright adventure. And we both went home. And the next day, the next morning was very cozy. I was getting ready to see Emilka, but first and foremost, I wanted to buy some flowers for my apartment. And I always buy with the same people, so this time they gave me like a free plant. Essentially, it's like I think it's garlic or onions. I cannot be too sure. If anyone knows what that is, please let me know. I mean, there was on the little like There was a paper on the plan, but I threw it away a long time ago. But either way, I like to have my Sunday mornings very slow, specifically because that's the time that I like to clean. But after I did all that, I went to meet Emilka for a nice little brunch. And we went to this place called Popot in between Bailly and Flagey. And I had this potato bun that was really, really nice. It was huge, but it was really nice. And then we stopped at this bookstore. I got a book by Virginia Woolf, I believe, in French as well, because I need to practice. And then as I'm walking her to her bus stop, it started to snow. And I hadn't seen snow in months, as you can imagine. And truly, by the time I got back home, everything was proper like winter wonderland. So I got home and I wanted to sing like a little depressing song to really get the vibe of the winter. So obviously, it was Taylor Swift. It is one of the only things I can play on the keyboard. So might as well.
Oh, your sweet disposition, my wide-eyed gaze. We're singing in the car, getting lost upstate. Autumn leaves falling down like pieces in a place, and I can picture it after all these days.
Now look at the view from my window. Honestly, it is so beautiful. Obviously, I do not think I would be able to handle well the kind of weather where it's always snowy, because obviously it is difficult to walk. I keep falling. My shoes are not that great. I feel like I bought better sneakers now, but like whenever I would take long walks last year during the winter in the forest and there was, I don't know, like proper ice on the floor, the amount of times I saved my ass from falling, I cannot even count. But it was really beautiful. And that's how I spent the rest of my Sunday, just chilling, having soup. And the next morning, I think I felt a little sick because I didn't feel anything. I was just working. And then Alexia came over and we watched Twilight. Honestly, it had been a long time since I wanted to rewatch it, I must say. And it is so ridiculous. I understand that it's camp, but it's so ridiculous. Either way, had a grand old time. And then Alexia left quite early in the morning. And I decided to take a little walk in the park again to enjoy whatever weather we were having, to be honest. Aqui, ó. Ó. Eu tô filmando o... So this is the park Tournai, or Tournai-Solvay. I'm a terrible touristic guide for Brussels. I must say, I am not in love with the city, and I think that translates into how much information I give you. But either way, while I was in this walk, I was on the phone with my family, and it was really nice. It was good to see my uncle. It was good to see my mom. My mom, I do call her more often. So I don't know. It's just, I like to take these long walks and be talking, I must say. It's sort of as if it was my own date with my mom. And I miss her very much. So what can I say? But that was during Carnival, and I could not handle being the only person not enjoying it. So I found a little Mardi Gras parade to attend. So let's see that. So glad I decided to go by myself because I invited a bunch of people to go with me and they couldn't, which is fair enough. But if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't have like met other people. I wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. And like it was such a fun night. It really made me feel like Brussels has more to offer than what I tend to believe it does. So truly, like the moral of the story for me here is if you want to go to something desperately and you have no one to go with, just do it. Go alone. Like, why not? And the next day, some sun shone from the window, and I already had plans to see other friends. So truly, it was a very wholesome few days, I must say.
Millennial. I'm not a millennial.
We're Gen Z,
like that. Gen Z is I don't know how to use this shit.
A little story time. I know Iani, thanks to our bachelor's degree in Porto, and she came to Brussels in 2021 to do an Erasmus, which is where she met the other girls. And now we're all living in the same city. So it's really good to have this kind of group that you can just catch up anytime and share your experiences. We're all not from here. So yeah, that was really lovely. It was also a place I've never been to before, that brewery. And frankly, I would love to go again, specifically because they have these different events planned out. So stay tuned. Maybe I will go there. Who knows? But yeah, the other day, it was a work day. So you just see my little morning routine, cleaning the energies of the apartment. But I decided that day to go to a cafe to work. And it's a cafe I've been to multiple times before, simply because they take my Pluxee, which is my food voucher. I decided to take a walk after I finish work, simply because honestly I just needed that. It's not like the weather was incredible, okay? Don't hope for too much. This is not warming me up. So here's a little bit of the Abay Park. I don't know if it's a park. It's like Abay de la Cambre, and then you have Bois de la Cambre. So I'm guessing it's like it's supposed to be a part of Bois de la Cambre, but not necessarily too close from Bois de la Cambre. Either way, it's like a nice little green area in the middle of the city. And that's one of the things that I will say I really appreciate about Brussels, because there are so many opportunities for you to sit somewhere and just enjoy the plants and touch some grass, quite literally. And I didn't really sit there because I didn't have a book, but it was nice to just like walk around. There was one guy walking these two very little dogs. I think they were Maltese, and he was like introducing the dogs to me. So that was really fun. Then I just, come back home and I don't know, enjoy my own company. Sometimes that's necessary. And this is it for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I do believe next week's video is going to be much more party focused because I'm also a daughter of God, okay? So yeah, stay tuned.